Halloween, a time for the spooky, the scary, the tasty. In the theme of Halloween, I bring you this tale of woe. Few survive their errors. Few have loaded in the paper and lived to tell the tale, not to mention the horrors that follow a sudden lack of magenta ink. Today, dear viewers, I bring you on a perilous journey through the scams, questionable design choices, and irritating interfaces that lie deep in the subconscious of children and adults alike. Tonight, dear viewer, I shall attempt to entertain you with harrowing tales of this monstrosity of mechanical madness. Our first story I like to call The Phantom Printer. It started out like any other day. I checked my homework. We had to take notes on a reading. Nothing too bad, except that we had to do the unthinkable. Print a hard copy!
Oh my God!
I glanced timidly over at my printer, and I felt the hairs rise up. The feeling of dread was unbearable. I couldn't stand to look at it a second longer. Turning quickly back to my computer, I remembered the task at hand. It was simple. Click on the PDF, press print, and send it to the printer. Easy, right? Wrong! The printer was out of paper! Okay, that's an easy fix. Just slide back the little platform, open the paper thingy, and slide some of that fresh new printer paper right in. Simple. Okay, back to printing. I pressed print. I said I pressed print. What? What's happening? Oh no. It's not connected! Why? I checked the settings. My computer's fine. Everything's connected. It's recognizing the printer. It should be fine, right? Maybe it's a problem with the Wi-Fi. No, we're all good there. So if it's not a problem with the Wi-Fi, and it's not a problem with the computer, well, it must be a problem with... Oh no. I creeped over to the printer. You never know when it might attack, so it's helpful to stay within its blind spot, which is right near the power button. I go in. Wait a minute. What's that? That's not my Wi-Fi. Somebody else is connected to my printer. But who? Who else could be connected to the printer? It didn't matter. All I needed to do was print my document, and I could get started on the homework. I reconnected the printer. I pressed print. Nothing. I pressed it again. Still nothing. I pressed it 5 times. Still nothing. I went to the printer, and I checked the connection. It said it was still connected to the right Wi-Fi. Wait! No, it didn't! What happened? I thought I connected it properly. I tried reconnecting it. It had been 10 minutes of trying to print this damn document. Print, reconnect, over and over and over again. It had been 20 minutes of trying to print a document. I decided there was nothing I could do. Defeated, I turned the printer off to go play games for a bit.
Oh no!
A couple rounds later, and I decided I should give it one more try. I turn the printer on, and something happens. It seems to start working. Satisfied, I go back to playing games. I couldn't hear the sounds of the printer over my music, so I had no idea what was happening. After about 15 minutes, I turned to the printer, and oh my God! It had registered every single time I requested it to print. I must have printed it at least 30 times. I think I had at least 100 pages, and all I needed was 8. What is wrong with these things?
Oh, but it gets far worse, dear viewer. I bring to you more tales from the depths of the document darkness. This one I like to call the Ink Monster.
The year is 2001. In one man's house is the infamous Canon BJC 600. One day, the man discovered a problem. Dripping. Lots of it. As he opened the slot, he shook in horror. Ink! It was everywhere. On the paper, on the printer, on his hands. It was spreading. With all of his might, the man scrambled towards the phone. He called the company's tech support line. They answered, but not after a couple minutes of keeping him on hold, of course.
Hello, this is an employee of the Canon Tech Support Company. How can I help you today?
When he told them his terrifying story, they spoke.
Yeah, so it sounds like you've been using third-party parts on your printer, which we don't really recommend. That's probably the primary cause of your issues.
But I don't even know how to install third-party parts.
So the man...
I don't even know where you would get them.
But there was no sympathy.
Yeah, well, that's probably your issue, so if you want, we could get you a new printer.
The man sighed.
No, I'm alright. Thanks anyway.
And speaking of ink, oh boy, do printer companies like to exploit it. They can and will do anything just to make sure that you always come back to buy more ink. Have you ever heard of the expression, give away the razor, sell them the blades? It essentially means that you give away a product and then capitalize on a different product that is required to make your first product. Well, hey, what's that doing on the screen? Anyway, take that business model and multiply it by 6! Printer companies will always use these little tricks to get you to buy more ink. Sometimes printers will say they're low on ink, even if that is a complete lie. And they won't print anything unless you refill it. Not just that. Printers also use a little bit of cyan ink when printing black and white documents. Why? Because it would run out faster that way. So your black and white document may not be exactly what it seems. The spirit of cyan ink still haunts it to this day.
Thus, we end our terrifying tales. But don't worry, they'll be back to haunt you in your nightmares.
Oh, well, hiya, printer.
Hi there, Joe. Old buddy, old pal. What can I do for you today?
Oh, nothing much. I just need you to print this document right here.
Oh, no can do, Joe. I seem to be out of cyan ink. Ah, jeez, that sure is a bummer.
Oh, no problem. I'll just print it black and white and we'll be good to go.
Why don't you ever listen, Joe?
What?
I said, I'm out of cyan ink.
Oh, no worries. I heard you loud and clear, but I only need the black ink.
Oh, Joe. Oh, sweet, poor, innocent Joe.
What is happening?
Out of cyan.
Please just print the document.
Out of cyan.
Please?
Joe.
Come on.
Don't make me say it again, Joe.
It's just a black and white.
Fuck you! Out of cyan!